Hello, my name is Audra Ebsen. I'm 33 years old. I just thought I would start the story of me with, kind of some basics about me. I grew up on a farm outside of Parker, Colorado. Lived there most of my life. Started there in third grade. Had 5 acres, chickens, horses, ducks, all the fun things. This picture you're seeing is of me and my cat Pumpkin. If you're wanting a good image of me, this is probably it. Most of the time I am napping or sleeping with my cat and snuggling with her. I have always been a cat person until 2017. I came across a beagle that my sister rescued in Texas. And everybody thinks, beagles are the regal beagle, right? Glorious, beautiful, diligent, that kind of thing. If you hover over the image, you can scroll to the next picture and you will see my beagle is not regal. His name is Calvin. He's a rescue from Texas. He's been a very important part of my life. I never liked dogs until I came across him. He's been very big in my life, but this is my favorite picture of him by far. If you scroll to the next image, you will see my box turtle Tuffy. She is also a rescue. I worked at PetSmart at the time, and a couple of customers came in with her and told me that if I did not take her, they were going to throw her on the road. So I ended up with a box turtle, and she's been with me, gosh, probably over 15 years now. It's been a long time. She loves sweet potatoes. She does not like taking baths in the sink, but it's good for her skin. Funny story with Tuffy is she was almost dead when I got her because the people had not been taking proper care of her. Took her to the vet, and the vet was like, yeah, she's a girl. Took her to the vet almost a year later. She had developed all of this pretty orange on her face. Her coloring had really come in. She was doing well. And they brought her back in and they were like, no, we were wrong. Tuffy is a boy. So Tuffy goes by she quite frequently, despite actually being a boy. I don't think she minds. We go to the next image. This is my most recent project, I guess you would call it. My mom brought home some crawdads from her work, and we placed them in a 36-gallon tank. She has grown into a monster. She's almost 4 inches long, and she will take your finger off. Go ahead and scroll to the next picture. I share the fear of spiders like many people, I feel, and if this image makes you cringe, I'm sorry, feel free to scroll away to the previous one or to the next one. I don't know why this spider just connected with me somehow. She had made her web in a little corner of our entryway under a light. And it was something constant, I guess. Every time I came in, she was sitting there in her web. Every night I came out, she was there in her web. She didn't make webs across the entryway where I would walk into them, and she didn't travel. She just stayed in one spot. So she didn't really bother me. And I just kind of let her be until she passed on that winter. It was a unique experience for me, kind of facing my fears there. Go ahead and go to the next slide if you haven't already. These are my chickens. I live on a farm. We've had chickens all my life. And on a hot day, they really like to eat frozen corn ice cubes. So this is what they were doing. Go ahead and go to the next slide. I don't know about most people. I love severe weather. There's something about the angry look of the clouds, dark and tornadoes. I just really like it. And so I have billions of pictures on my phone of clouds. Go ahead and go to the next. So this is my dad. He and I did not have a great relationship when I was growing up. He was around, he was in the picture, But he worked from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. Found out he was having an affair with affair on my mom with somebody way before I was even born. So I have a half sister out there somewhere. My parents are divorced, which was actually the best thing they ever did for each other and for me. But this is just a really special picture for me. Randomly out of nowhere one day, he was like, "Hey, the carnival's in town. Let's go to the carnival." I was like, "Okay, yeah, okay, sure." So, we played games. He won me like a little stuffed toy. And at the end of the day, we went on the Ferris wheel and I snapped this picture. Go ahead and go to the next one. Again, me with some of my chickens. The one that I'm hugging is named Blue. She passed away recently, but she was one of my favorites. She would just jump right up on your lap. And then, of course, the ones on my back, they would jump to your back from the ground. They're crazy. Go ahead and go to the next picture. This is me. I rarely take pictures of myself. I do not like them. But for whatever reason that day after work, I was just kind of feeling good about myself. And so I took, a selfie like a lot of people do, I feel. But they're very rare for me. Go ahead and go to the next one. So recently I've been struggling with chronic pressure urticaria. My doctor really says there's not much I can do to treat it. Basically, I take Zyrtec every day. And if I don't, just crossing my legs creates these raised red welts. They burn, they itch like mad, and they are hot to the touch. It's been a real struggle lately. Just picking something up can do it sometimes. Go ahead and go to the next slide. This is me after I had a seizure as a medication side effect. Ended up falling into a dresser on my way down and gave myself a black eye, had a nice big goose egg on my head. That wasn't a lot of fun. Go ahead and go to the next one. It's Calvin again. He does not like the cold, and neither do I. He loves to be covered up, and he will just snuggle in blankets for the rest of his life. Next picture is Calvin again, my little bagel. He's just kind of snuggled up in his blanket. Next picture. Okay, I called out of work one day because I thought there was something wrong with him. His tail was drooping, he wasn't wagging it, but he was acting normal otherwise. But I was like, I'm gonna take him to the vet. Something's not right. Turns out he sprained his tail from wagging it too hard. He is a lover. He's a good boy, but yeah, he sprained his tail. So it healed up fine. It just took a couple of days, but I did miss a day of work to find out that my dog has a sprained tail. This is go to the next picture, is a toad that I grew from a tadpole. Again, growing up on a farm, I just have always had a love for animals and all kinds of crazy animals. If you go to the next picture, this is me and my nephew Asher when he was about maybe 1.5 years old. He's almost 4 now, time is flying. I did not like kids, do not like kids, never wanted kids, I still don't want kids. And when my best friend of 20 years was like, I'm pregnant with my first child, I was like, oh no. But he ended up being very important in my life, and he is my whole world. I absolutely love him. He knows that I have chickens, and to separate me out from his mom's other friends, he calls me Bok Bok Auntie. And it gets a laugh out of everybody when he walks up and screams Bok Bok Auntie.